Okay, so TAC Talk 1. This is like the 8th time I've done it. I've messed up the first 7 times. It's been completely crap. So
multiple takes.
Hopefully this one works. So this time I'm going to talk about the CrossFit Games, the season so far. Structure's completely changed. I was thinking we'll discuss the structure and then give us your opinions on it. So for those who don't know, the CrossFit Games is a kind of competition every year. It starts with the Open. This year you have the Open, which is a huge online competition, has about 250,000 people take part. This year the top 10% in each region move on to an online quarter-final stage, and then a certain amount of people will move on to a semi-final stage, which we'll discuss in more detail. But thoughts, boys?
I like it.
You like it?
I think it's been much more inclusive this time around. I mean, the Open is all about being inclusive, but like from a competitive standpoint, I feel like introducing these 10% that go into the quarterfinals. Is it 10% that goes into the semis as well?
No.
So what is it for the semi-finals?
It's a set amount of people, depending on how many semi-finals you've got in that region.
Okay.
I think America's the top, or North America's the top 120, Europe top 60, top 30 in the most other regions. Maybe a top 60 in Oceania, is it?
No, I think the rest is
it's just
top 30.
The rest.
Yeah.
And then from that, it's dependent again on how many places qualify at these semi-finals. I think we've got 10 in Europe,
20 in America. It's basically based on the amount of people who go is based on the amount of semis there are. So in North America, there's 4 semi-finals. So it's 30 people, 30 individual males, 30 individual females in each semi. Then Europe, there's 2 semi-finals, the German one and the Dutch one. So
I think there's top 5 in Europe go, but I think the ones in Africa, so only the top 1. Only first place goes. I think it just differs in different regions and things like that.
Same in South America, I think.
So it's tough going if you're in Africa or Asia or something like that, and you've got one spot that goes to the games. It's
a lot harder, but they based it on participation level. So obviously, with CrossFit being American, started out in America, they have high levels of participation. But North America includes Canada as well.
They do have high levels of participation, but I feel that's a bit of a subject that the level in America isn't as high as what is in Europe. They might have double the amount of participants, but half of them participants are just your average Joe and aren't never going to make it to the next stage.
The depth isn't reflective of the amount of people who take part.
No, I mean there's people in Europe that are going to miss out on semi-final stage and finals spots basically that are
probably would have made it.
If they were in America with the 120 that qualify kind of thing. So
definitely.
It's,
is there not I don't know how it works. Is there a last chance kind of
there is a last. It's got this. I think it's a virtual event. A last chance qualifier, I think it's called. And I know if you couldn't make it to your semi-final for travel reasons, obviously all the COVID things going on, if you couldn't make it to your semi-final, you then got put into the last chance qualifier.
I see. Okay.
There are other ways around getting to the last chance qualifier, but I don't know the criteria to make it to that. I think it may actually have been in Europe 6th and 7th place in your semi-final, then go into the last chance qualifier as well.
Yeah, and it's top 4. Is it top 4 from the last chance or top 3? It's a relative. I can't remember.
I'm not sure on that.
Compared to, I quite like this structure. I think it's because I thought obviously the last 2 years when Glassman kind of ripped up the whole kind of CrossFit Games season, it was essentially you had national champions go in, and that could be a bit of a joke. Some of the people going to the games, you had the top 30 in the Open worldwide or top 20 in the Open worldwide, which that's fine.
The national championship thing going straight to the games,
it reflected in the first workout of that year.
That first year they did.
I think it was rope climb, snatches and running.
Legless rope climb, snatches. There was people that couldn't even get through 4 legless rope climbs in the first round.
You go into the games and you can't snatch 82 kilos. That's a big. It's not. Obviously for your average gym goer, that's a decent snatch. But the CrossFit Games, you've got boys snatching anywhere between 120 and 130, and same with girls, you've got girls nearing 100. Yeah. And then you're watching that first event in 2019.
And they're missing a 60 kilo snatch.
Yeah, they can't. It's I quite like this format. Compared to the original, well, it's not necessarily the original format, but for years we've seen you had the Worldwide Open, then it was broken into regions. So you had like the European region, the North African region, and then you had 4 regions in America. And then the top 30 in each region would then go to regionals, and then the top 3 from each region, or top 5, would then go to the games. I quite liked that. I thought it was balanced. It was too heavily weighted on the American side.
Yeah, definitely.
I think this format's a little bit better personally. I really like this format.
I still think there's could be more to be done with. I mean, America having 4, North America having 4 semi-finals, Europe only having 2.
Yeah.
I do think that could be changed. Obviously, like Africa, Asia, all only got 1. I don't really see. Yes, the participation levels in North America are higher.
Yeah.
But again, like I said before, it doesn't really reflect the ability of some of them athletes in other regions having. It's a higher their ability in Europe than there is, I'd say, in North America.
Yeah.
On a bigger scale.
Yeah.
So I think there's definitely something to be looked at there. There was talk I heard of maybe next year Europe having another semi-final.
3. I think
but also another one in North America as well, which I don't really. Again, I think one could go Oceania, whatever it's called, or is it Oceania?
Yeah, that's basically Australia. New Zealand. But like Australia's got quite good depth now.
Yeah.
Like I think they have. Like,
I think there's only 3 from their semi-final that go, not even
really?
5.
Oh wow.
So
yeah. I mean, if you think the female CrossFit Games champion last 4 times was an Aussie, Tia. You know, you got some good lads out there as well.
James Newbury, Carl Porter, people like that.
Yeah, Cara Saunders. Yeah. She's coming back. So
yeah, if that's a women's spot, that's Tia and Cara going straight away. You've probably got 1 spot to fight for. If it is 3, I'm not 100% sure on that.
If the depth does grow, though, it might be something they change.
Yeah, I just think they need to do it because I can see why they've done it this time round because it's easy to do, but they've done it based on participation, not, in my opinion, not necessarily based on quality. And like, I know the lads in America are like relatively dominant, but some of the European boys are really kind of stepping up. The Aussie lads are really coming up as well. Yeah. But the female field, like, you know, I think last year was the first time in like 6-7 years that they had a female American on the podium. Yeah. So, you know,
I mean, it doesn't look like there's a fair few young Americans now coming through. Them young, two young girls. I mean, one's 17, one's 18, is it?
They
are phenomenal.
Yeah,
you know, I think
absolutely phenomenal.
Is it Mallory? I think her name's
Mallory O'Brien. Yeah, she's trained by that James Townsend.
Yeah. There's
Emma Carey. I think her name
Carey. I think there's another one. She's Canadian. Emma Lawson. I want to say her name is. I think she finished in the top 20. Whereas obviously Mallory O'Brien and Emma were like top 5. Yeah. But like, I think it's safe to say that the future of the female division is pretty solid.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, I do like. I think this form, like, whilst this year, like, there'll be a few kinks that they need to iron out. I do like the way this format's gone. Like the Open, the top 10%. Well, with the Open being 3 weeks long for one, whereas in the past it used to be 5. I think it's a bit more exciting. It's less logistically difficult for an affiliate to organise. It's far easier to organise. I like the fact that there's a next stage because initially with the Open, like, you know, people would want to do our RX, but they couldn't do certain things. Whereas now, I feel like the original stage of the Open could be kind of like down on the skill level a little bit, and then with the quarters, you really massively increase the skill level. And I think as well, like, it gives everyone something to aspire to. You have it's a more open kind of thing, which people can then go, you know what, I'm never going to make regionals, I'm not going to make the semi-finals, but I'll make the quarterfinals. Like, that's
it's definitely giving people more chance to be competitive. Like if you're that way inclined.
I mean, I feel as competing in Europe this year, the semi-final stage, being the top 60 in Europe and to get to the semi-finals is like a massive jump from 3,500 that qualified for the quarterfinals to then go to the 60 is huge. Like, you had to be bang on in every workout really to get to that stage. It's so tight.
Some big athletes missed out on that.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, in terms of so this year we've got a 3-week Open, then you got the quarterfinals were done over a weekend. I think it was like 5 workouts. That was
5 workouts over 3 days. Yeah.
And then the top, so we'll just focus on Europe for this. So the top 60 in Europe were meant to go off to 2 separate semi-final events. So this is where things are a little bit different from the past as well, is that the semi-final events are now programmed by the organisers of the event.
Just with some guidelines.
Yeah, they've got some guidelines to follow. I mean, what do you think of that? Because like in the past, regionals was like, it was the same workouts across the board. It was competing on different weekends, but everyone who went to a regional did the same workout.
I felt that was good in a sense of watching. You had world record for week 1. Matt Fraser smashed one workout. All of a sudden, we're in week 3, and there's one athlete that's going for a world record because Matt Fraser's done it 3 weeks ago. He set the time to beat, and you could always sort of focus on that. There's always even if they were winning the workout in their region, there was always someone who'd done it in another region better, and they were all doing the same workout. So
you kind of had world records.
Yeah, it's good to see a world record go. Just to nobody out of Europe or out somewhere, just like smashing a workout that they're really good at, and they get a world record. I seem to remember a few years ago, I think was it Stephen Fawcett or someone like that who broke. Was it the strict handstand push-up and row and won?
Ah, right, yeah.
It was very close to a world record. They fell off the pace in the end, but it was just cool that somebody in Europe was beat it. They knew that they were like top in the world at that workout.
And
I
think as well cool. Is that like you just said, you could compare. So you could compare the athletes, or you could compare the standard of a region to another region.
Yeah.
So like you say, the workouts are all the same. So it's like Europe are going. As across the board, the top 30, they're performing like this in this particular workout, but then the Central East region, which was always really strong in America, but they're doing this, and I quite like having that ability to compare it. And I think from CrossFit looking at it, I thought it was a good way of a good journey to the games. Like Castro was always big on that, and I really like this. So the games is the pinnacle. Going to the CrossFit Games, that's the main thing, but. It wasn't just the people going to the games and won the games based on what they've done in the games. The test started in the open, everything fed towards the games. It was like a journey. So the workouts in the open were a certain way, and then the workouts in the regionals were a certain way, and then obviously the games were a certain way. And then when you look back at the season, it was like, we found the true fittest, basically.
Yeah, I feel like that. On the other hand, now you're kind of not competing against the world until the actual CrossFit Games.
Yeah.
Now you're very much like, I haven't done the Open, I didn't really look where I come worldwide.
No.
Apart from that's the amount of points you got where you finished worldwide, 19,000th place in the first workout. Apart from that, I didn't look because you're not competing. You're only competing within Europe. So now you don't really compare yourself worldwide. Whereas previously the Open was just a worldwide thing. You didn't really now because all you're competing against is trying to get in that top 10% in Europe, trying to get in that top 60 in Europe. You don't worry about that, so I feel like you're not comparing anything now until the very, very last stage.
No, I think like obviously with the semis now being organised by programmed by the event organisers. I do like that, but it does have to be oversight because.
It was like sanctionals,
so the sanctionals the last few years, obviously, the event organised programmed that event, but you go to one event, Sid had rowing on the water, for example, but
didn't like that event.
No, I didn't particularly like that event.
Too elitist against certain
too specialist.
It's just a bit too specialist, but I don't think it would have been too bad if every sanctional event worldwide had rowing on the water. Because then everyone's done the same thing. But say if someone went to Sid and they were amazing at everything, but then scared of being.
I felt that was like the event organisers trying a little bit too hard. Well, this is different.
That was the issue with sanctionals. There was over programming. You're trying to do a little bit too much, or you're trying too hard to be a bit different.
Yeah, almost be like the games.
I remember looking at the. I think it was the China sanctional.
Yeah.
They barely had a CrossFit movement in.
Oh, really?
It was all as I say, CrossFit movement. It was at the games they had the flip the pig thing. Instead, they had this kind of scrum-looking machine that the whole team pushed along.
Oh, really?
And it was odd kind of workouts like that, and it was you really. Obviously, it's all fitness is covered, but
it's just different.
It was very different tests again, and it was you could qualify out of that because you've done something a little bit different. And not necessarily done any CrossFit workouts. Obviously, you can put whatever you want into a fitness test, but you still need to have done the same kinds of things as everybody else.
Yeah, definitely. I don't necessarily mind. So the thing I like about this year is because there is the oversight. They're not necessarily saying, you need to put this workout in, but CrossFit could be turning around to all these semi-final events saying, right, you need to have 5 different time domains, and these time domains are 4 minutes, 5 minutes, 10, whatever. You know, you need to have 2 couplets, 3 triplets, a chipper. You need to have a long event, and then you're just effectively testing like energy systems, like kind of globally.
Broader sort of scales.
Yeah. Whereas like, I think just in the past it was like, some events you could go to and you could do 6 workouts, but you go to another event, you could do 9 workouts. It's just a completely different test.
It definitely needs to be some sort of something to follow.
Yeah.
That everyone does the same kind of workouts. I mean, they can involve whatever movements you like.
They can involve different movements, but
it's the same sort of energy system type workouts and time domains that test.
Because I think obviously CrossFit turn around and say, okay, every semi-final event has to have a form of strength test, for example, and that way they're all doing it. Whereas like I said in the past, if one event didn't do it and you were like not really weak, but weak relatively to the rest of the field, and you just got away with it because your strength wasn't tested.
You end up qualifying for the right sanctional kind of thing for your strengths. You could quite easily qualify for the games just because you felt lucky in the event you went to.
Pretty much. Yeah. So I really like this format. I
think when it initially got announced, I thought it would have been easier for someone like myself to maybe get to a sanctional, whereas I think it's now harder for me to get to a semi-final.
Oh yeah, if you've got less, well, you've essentially got less options.
Yeah, you've got less options. So initially it was a bit like, I don't know, I'm not sure about this, but now having done it, it is definitely, you just got to push yourself to that semi-final level.
And
there's a definite aim.
I think there's different ways of looking at it. So like, looking at it from your point of view, being so sanctionals, you had more opportunity to make a sanctional, because you could technically do any sanctional you wanted in the world. You just sign up for it. I think this is a better way of finding fittest, if that's what they want to do.
It's definitely a better way of finding the fittest, 100%. Yeah.
But from like, an inclusivity point of view, I mean, you had strength in depth, you had filthy 150, you had the German throwdown, you had the French throwdown. There was probably eight events in Europe, and they could take a different amount of people, based on what they want. So like, you just had you could sign up for the French throwdown and be like, I'm just going to smash the qualifiers for this and qualify, whereas now you just have to come top 60 in Europe in a test. So it's harder to get to. But
I think with the sanctional, like you say, you can just gone to any one. Realistically, it was the person who wanted to spend the most money and travel the world.
Well, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because some of them, I know there was qualifiers for the Egypt one. They didn't even have enough people qualified for the event to fill the event. So you could just done one workout in the qualifiers and essentially qualified for the sanctional.
Yeah. Well, you were going to answer my next question. Were there any qualifiers for the sanctions? Was it just literally you sign up and you can go?
No. There were always qualifiers, and a few of the. I mean, out of was it 20 odd sanctionals in the end?
It was 23.
So I think I mean there was some that also did the filthy 150. That was grouped together with maybe 2 or 3 other sanctionals, and you did what's called the International Online Qualifier, and that you did that with qualifiers, and that qualified you for say 4 events. You had to sign up to which events you wanted to before the qualifiers, so you could pay the €20 or whatever it was for each event, so €80, and you could have qualified for all 4. And gone that way. Some ran their own, and some were through. I think a couple were through the Open as well.
There
were a few that were through the Open, and they all, again, like I said, they all had their own way of doing it, their own way of programming, their own way of qualifying and everything. It was a little bit of a free for all, probably, in one way.
Yeah, well, Sid did it the first year, didn't they? Their first workout was
the Open workout.
Was the Open workout?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, and you could use that.
Rowing and wall balls.
Yeah, I remember.
What so obviously, you did the Open this year, performed really well. So if we'll go through the workout. So 21.1 was an ascend.
Whole lot of wall walks.
So it was basically a new exercise. So it was an ascending. I'm just trying to get this right. So it's 1 wall walk, 10 double unders, 3 wall walks, 30 double unders,
6 wall walks,
60, 9 and 90. 15,
150 double unders,
21,
210.
Right, so obviously, when that came out, wall walks completely new exercise. You did it twice.
Yeah.
Let's go through your performance on that.
I think.
Go on. Sorry, Tom.
I was gonna say that was a movement that definitely threw a spanner in the works. I remember watching it live on YouTube, and when he announced wall walks, me personally. Part of me laughed because I was like, all right, wall walks are going to hurt people, definitely.
Yeah.
And another part of me thought, oh, was it? I didn't know what the opinion would generally be with war walks, but I think it was a good mixer-upper. Like you do.
I think the initial opinion on it was, what is this?
Yeah.
Like, he's had a whole year
That's
of lockdown,
I thought,
and he comes up with war walks, like, and doing it initially. I first did it. It was hard. To be wrong. I
absolutely crumbled.
I absolutely crumbled. I mean, I failed one of the last war walks. I did land on my head, and my arms just give way.
Yeah. And
I initially thought my score was. I knew it was no world-beating score, but I thought it was okay. It was never going to be great, but it was just okay, I thought.
Yeah.
And actually, 2 days later, after doing it on Friday, I looked at the leaderboard on a Sunday, and I was miles off the pace, miles.
It gave. I don't know, because it was a non-traditional CrossFit movement. I mean, wall walks are done in CrossFit, but they're primarily an accessory exercise, and they're a great accessory exercise. Double unders are obviously they're a low-skill CrossFit movement, so most people can do them.
Yeah, you say low skill. They're low skill for that level of CrossFitter.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But where did you come?
What are you trying to say, man?
Sorry, Tombo's still trying to get his.
So I think you got 200. So you got initially, how many wall walks in the 21s did you get in your first attempt? Was it 3?
3?
I think you got 3. So
yeah, it was 3. Yeah.
And then I remember when we did it, and you were like, "Oh yeah, I just one and done," because you only got to make the top 10%, and the top 10% in Europe was 3,400.
Yeah, something like that. And I think before I redid it, I was like 3,000th place, and that was before everyone had put their scores in. I was still in place 3,000. I was a bit of an eye opener. Oh, yeah, I've got to do this again. Basically, there's no way I can leave that score as it is.
So you did it again. You ended up with 288. So you got 8 wall walks, didn't you?
No, 6.
6.
Got 6 wall walks. 280. 380. 280.
380. Oh, sorry, yeah, 380.
380. I think the score was, yeah.
So
3 extra reps, which I think I had extra. Did I have an extra minute or something like that?
Yeah,
you
ended up you got no rep, didn't you?
I think I failed a rep, like the 7th rep, and then tried to go for another one. So really, I should have got 8 reps on the 21s, but
just
went
a bit too early.
Yeah, really. And messed it up a little bit.
So but that. Those 3 extra reps gained you 1,000 places, roughly.
And I still come 5,000 something in Europe, and I mean that was mad.
I think that was one of the most.
I think because it was a workout, the first workout,
it's very accessible.
Everybody could do it. Everyone's got a wall they can walk up. Majority of people have a skipping rope that can double under, so anybody could give it a go. And it was all about getting some sign-ups, really.
I
just threw a huge spanner in the works.
That was an unbelievable eye-opener because pretty much. So when did you start programming with Mitch? Probably about a year ago now, wasn't it? It was
back maybe July last year.
Yeah, and your training has gone up a level, as is your performance, and kind of the factors surrounding your training has gone up a level. Your nutrition's a lot better. You've had a baby, but you're probably sleeping a bit better because you had about 6 months off work. I was thinking, right, you're going to do really well, and then this workout came up, and it just humbled you. But the thing is, it didn't just humble you. You had some really top European athletes just get absolutely smashed.
Yeah, games athletes that were miles off the pace. Yeah.
When it got announced, that was my first thought. I was people are going to struggle at this.
Yeah.
It's going to open some eyes.
And people who people were doing well who were not traditionally good CrossFitters. So that's what caused this mass madness on the leaderboard. I mean, the cream rose to the top.
It did. There was a lot of the average Joe, as you say, getting in the top 1,000, say, in Europe, just because they could do some good double unders. They were light. They could move on their hands quite well. Didn't have much muscle mass because I think that made a huge difference in that. The more muscle you had, to walk on your shoulder and mobility and all that kind of stuff. It did play a big part.
The shoulder mobility was a big issue. I mean, you kind of admit you don't have great shoulder mobility.
No.
You have great overhead strength, but your mobility is not great. So where I think the lockout position overhead, if you didn't quite have that, your shoulders just burnt out.
Yeah. It's just too much going through your arms more than it was. Smaller muscle groups taking most of the load all the time, and it just took its toll in the end, I think.
So you came 5,000 something than that, and I couldn't believe it. I was pretty gobsmacked. 21.2.
It was definitely an eye opener at that stage, thinking I've got to pull my finger out here.
We thought we could walk like train for the quarters, isn't it? Like
literally, yeah.
Walk through the open. So that kind of like put a bit of pressure on. 21.2 comes out. It was a repeat of 2017, 17.1
maybe.
Yeah. So that was 10 dumbbell snatch, 15 burpee box jump overs, 20, 15, 30, 15, 40, 15, 50, 15. Right, you went out like a lizard on speed because these these are good work.
It still gives me nightmares thinking back of that workout, jumping over the box and my legs nearly giving way. And
I think
sort of footage, mate. Yeah.
So you got 12:09. Was it like 12:12 or something like that? What did you get? Like
12:13 or something like that.
12:13, and in 2017, that would have got you about 200th. I think you were in the top 1,000 on this one. You decided not to do it again, but when you did it, I think you were like proper hyped because you performed so poorly in the first one.
Definitely.
So you went out so hard.
I've got to send it, and that's it. I went for it.
I've never seen you crumble on a workout like you did. Like on the 50s, you did like 5 dumbbell snatches and put the dumbbell down. I don't think I swear at you so much, but I mean, you decided not to do it again because the placing, like, it was enough just to pull you back in.
Yeah, I think I pulled me back into the top 3,000 just about, which was obviously going to be enough.
And that's kind of all you needed to do. But I mean, you went hard. I mean, you've always been pretty good at dumbbell snatches. Like,
I think, I should have just slowed the burpee box jump overs down each rep just marginally, just to give myself a little bit more time.
I think you planned on doing that.
I did plan on doing that, and then you sort of get into the workout, and I've got to do well this week, kind of thing in your head. So you're like, right, and then you just go, and then all of a sudden I think I knew by the second round of burpee box jump overs, I shouldn't be feeling like this at this stage of the workout. I've done like 30 dumbbell snatches and 30 burpee box overs, and I feel like I'm hanging on a little bit here, and I've got a lot of work still to do.
What's that saying? It was like at this moment, being new, he fucked up.
Definitely did a Dan Reader on that one.
Yeah. Crowd pleaser. Well, I mean, you got through the 30s and the 40 dumbbell snatches in like a phenomenal speed, and then as soon as you hit the 50s,
I just had nothing in me. I think I broke the 40s. I think I got maybe a 25 and a 15 or something like that.
Because I was looking at you. I was like, you started looking like you were struggling, but I was like, God, if you keep this pace up, you'll go comfortably sub 10. And then like the 50s were like that much slower, and then even like you had 3 burpee box jump overs left, and you stopped at the end. Yeah,
3 or 5 or something like that. And I remember the video. You just said, you got 5 more. Come on, mate, 5 more.
Stop him with 5 left.
Yeah, definitely. So, I mean, I've been watching videos back, thinking after I've done it, and then like everyone else is like sending these last 15 burpee box jump overs. I was like, there's no way I could have sent them at any speed. I was just like. Well, I somehow just throw myself over the box each time.
I think for you, like you didn't do the open in 2017. I think if you'd had
I done the workout previously, you'd known how it felt, how to pace it a bit better. Which obviously a lot of other people had the benefit of that.
Yeah.
Going into the workout.
Well, that leads me to like my next question. Like compared to what were like the time splits in comparison to 2017? Like generally, how much better?
I think I remember. Back in one of our previous videos where you filmed me through the open, I mentioned about Phil Hesketh said the top 10% back in 2017 in Europe, 10% would have been like around 15 minutes, and you'd been that would have been in the top 10%.
Oh wow!
Whereas top 10% now, I don't actually know.
Wow, man, I've seen a lot of sub 11s.
Well, it would have been different. I mean, I don't know exactly where you finished on it, but it was like 900, maybe like 900th, was it?
I feel like it was maybe 900. Yeah.
So like. And then in your time in 2017 would have been like 200. So it's like 5 times kind of better. I mean, I question some of the legitimacy of the times, and I know that sounds like a petty thing to say, but like when
there was, I mean, if you only need to look at a few people that posted up videos, there was online judges going through the videos that were posted, and there was an awful lot of them that had rejected against them on people's videos.
Yeah.
Right. That young lad, his name Oscar, somebody, I noticed it wasn't great, his movement standard, but there'd been like 30 people on there judging him just because he posted a video up. Well, fair play, he actually posted a video up. There's plenty of people that put themselves down that they did it at an affiliate.
He put it up to be scrutinised.
So how people were doing it, obviously some people are in gyms doing it, that's fine, but if you didn't do it in a gym, you had to post a video, and a lot of people didn't.
Yeah, most people didn't. Most gyms weren't open.
So, again, I would say, it's not don't want to say that that's a reason why you come so far. Like, not at all. But
I do think the whole, like, if you're part of an affiliate, you didn't have to video it, but the gyms were closed was a bit funny. Like,
it's always been the way with the Open, though, isn't it? Obviously, you're the average person who goes to the gym, you want to do the Open. I mean, the whole thing of setting a video camera up and all that, it makes it.
It's just more difficult.
It's more difficult. If you've got 30 people in your affiliate doing it, you don't have to video every single one. I can understand the reason behind not doing it. It just,
So that pulled you in the top 3,000. So it basically put less pressure on you for the third workout. So 21.3. So 21.3 comes out, and I liked this workout. I thought it was a cracking workout. So it was.
I did.
So it's for time. It was. So it was 2 parts essentially. So it was 15 front squats, 30 toes to bar, 15 thrusters, minute rest.
Yeah, 1 minute, 1 minute and forced rest. Yeah.
Then it was 15 front squats, 30 chest to bar pull-ups, 15 thrusters, minute rest, and then 15 front squats, 30 bar muscle ups, and 15 thrusters. And then from the point you finished,
that was the barbell. Was it 42?
42 and a half.
42 and a half.
It was 95 pounds. So
yeah.
From the point you finished, you then had 7 minutes to establish a max. It was a deadlift, clean, hand clean jerk.
Yeah.
Is that right?
That's it, yeah.
So, like, how do you think you did on that?
DNF. Did not finish.
Didn't finish. So, I when this workout came out, I was buzzing because I thought you'd do well.
It looked like on paper, it looked like a good one for you, mate.
Obviously I wanted to. It was kind of movements that I've been doing a lot with Mitch in the training over the last year or 9 months or whatever. Whereas the other 2 workouts probably was stuff I hadn't done so much of. Whereas this gymnastic was all about the gymnastics.
Yeah.
How was I
going to go? Did that make you feel, when you saw that, did that make you feel like more nervous? Just because you knew that you've been
obviously the lift, I was expected to do well on that.
Yeah.
I was expected to put a decent score.
Yeah.
I still think I would have done.
I think you would have.
And even the workout was going quite well for me. Obviously, I think I paced it pretty much bang on for me. I was doing sort of sets of 6 on the bar muscle ups, and I obviously when I'd hurt myself, I was at 27 bar muscle ups. I had 3 to go. That was at 10 minutes 50. I'd have been well under 12 minutes, which would have been a decent time.
So for those who don't know, on the 27th bar muscle up, he came off the bar and broke his foot.
Not broke, but you
had a fracture.
I've got an avulsion fracture, which is where the ligaments have been strained that much they pulled a bit of bone away from the main part of bone.
Yeah, so we had a barn we were training in, and the pull-up bar was set really high because there wasn't decent placings on the wall.
It took me about 3 hours to put the bar up originally because you couldn't drill it to the wall.
Yeah, so
it ended up being a little bit higher than I wanted it to.
Stack plates
so put a couple of mats on the floor, a couple of plates on top of that, just so it was easier to jump to. So I wasn't jumping up every rep. I'm having to do a max effort jump to hang on to the pull-up bar.
Yeah.
Been training for 3 or 4 months like that in the barn, no problem at all. Comes to the open when you want it. Come down, 27th bar muscle up. Half my foot goes onto the mat. Half it goes onto the floor, which is about 4 inches lower down, and overweight on my ankle. And
that's just mega unlucky. I videoed it, and you could hear it. You could hear the
there was some sort of crack. I didn't want that crack to be anything serious. When I heard the crack on the video, I was like, that's nothing. Wow. It's nothing. That must be my bottom of my foot hitting the floor or something. That's nothing to do with any bones or anything. Obviously, once I had an X-ray and stuff on it, there was obviously.
Your reaction, I thought, that's bad.
Yeah, because you don't often scream.
Well, obviously, when I first did it, obviously the adrenaline was going, and obviously it hurt because obviously the noise I made. But then also I got back up and was like, oh no, I'm all right. I can carry on. I did the last 3 bar muscle ups, and then sort of realised in my head I'd finished the workout. I'd done the 30 bar muscle ups, and I finished. Yeah. And obviously. He was like, oh no, 15 thrusters still to go, and the adrenaline was starting to go here. I'm just like, all of a sudden I was like, I can't squat. There's no way I can squat. I mean, I could do a bar muscle up. It wouldn't have
been worth it, mate.
No, exactly. It wouldn't have been worth it at all. I wouldn't have been able to do the complex.
And even if you,
I wouldn't have been able to do the quarterfinal stage. Even though, I qualified for that stage in the end, but. I mean, I can't squat. I can't.
So obviously you got DNF on that. Like, I think was it difficult this year because I think we were kind of seen as the Open as a good reflection of the year for you, and you put in so much work. Was it more disappointing that you didn't really get to see where you were, as opposed to not moving on to the next stage. Like, because I don't think, with the way the open workouts kind of came out, I don't think you got
so wherever I came in the open, it wouldn't have really been a reflection. The first workout just didn't go well, and that's dropped me so far back. Had I finished, I think I worked it out with a 12-minute time in the WOD and a complex of like 120. I probably would have gone quicker, and I probably would have lifted more than that. But that would have put me at around, like, I think it was just outside the top 1,000 in Europe. Had I not come 5,000 odd in that first workout, you could have been a lot lower down.
Yeah, significantly higher as well.
So I don't think that was a true reflection. And then again, it's difficult to say. No, I don't think the open would have been a reflection of my training at all.
No, I mean, you've been training. Obviously,
looking at the quarterfinal workouts, I quite liked. I mean, don't be wrong. That GHD workout, it looks awful, and I would have been awful at that as well. There's no way.
Well,
having not been in a gym with a GHD, if you haven't been doing GHDs, 180 GHDs just off
how
the cuff,
many was it?
it's brutal.
I think it was 180.
180.
Yeah.
I mean, 180 pistols as well. I mean, there was no way I was finishing that in the cap. No chance.
Yeah. So then the quarterfinals goes on without you, which is a shame, because I was looking forward to doing a cracking little mini.
I think it would have bothered me. Like I say, it would have bothered me more had I been able to be in the gym for the quarterfinal, and obviously logistics of when they put all the floor plan out, how you had to mark out your floor in and all that kind of thing. Having a rope and all that kind of stuff. It would have been an issue to do the workout. Had the gym's been open and all that kind of stuff, I probably would have been more annoyed with the injury. I mean, you can't be that annoyed. An injury is an injury. It is what it is.
It was just super unlucky. But I mean, I think looking at it now, like you say, you wouldn't have been able to do the quarterfinals in a gym, really. We didn't have access to a rope. You hadn't had access to a GHD. So, I think you probably would have been more disappointed. But obviously, from a kind of, like if we're looking at the games and the game season now as fans, I mean, what are your thoughts? I mean, in Europe, Reggie Fasser came first after the quarterfinals, and
he's posted some. I've watched a few of his workouts, and
he's a machine. Like, is he? I mean, I haven't really followed the UK CrossFit scene, but like he seems to be the guy leading the way.
The first time we've seen him, we competed at Battle for Middle Ground. That's the first time. I know you've seen him at the Filthy 150 last year.
I saw him at Filthy 150 last. That's 2019 now.
It was, and Battle for Middle Ground was like the last thing we did before we went into lockdown. So this was like.
I saw him. Obviously, he competed at the Wadapalooza.
Right.
And he won a rowing workout. I mean, he's only about. He's quite short.
Yeah.
And to win a rowing workout at the Wadapalooza against some games athletes is pretty
impressive.
Pretty impressive.
Yeah. I think he beat like Cole Sager and stuff like
that.
I think
Alex Smith, people like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he won that workout.
That would be a confidence booster.
I've enjoyed watching him. And it's weird because
it's good to see a few different names. Again, there's another. Is it Oleg Lysenko?
Yeah,
I know he's been up there the last couple of years on the open leaderboard, in and around the mix. But again, someone else.
I think it's nice to see. Like I know, obviously, like C4 that's done well in the past, and that was great to see. And I think like with CrossFit, because it's a new young sport, the people you kind of your fanboy are like your Matt Frasers, your Rich Fronins, and those kind of people. But it's nice to be able to like watch a UK or a group of UK athletes and just be like, I mean, our only kind of impressions of them are on social media because I've never met the guy. But I'm like watching him on Instagram, watching him absolutely smash these workouts, and I'm like a fan of him. I think it's cool.
Yeah, he does seem like a nice bloke.
I want to see him do well. Yeah.
Well, I also watched a podcast on him, and they said it's only from like December last year did he actually completely quit work and go focus solely on CrossFit.
Yeah.
Other than that, he was working a normal, 8 till 4 job, then going to the gym for 3 hours in the evening, doing all his training in one block, not splitting his training up all day.
Yeah. I listened to him on a podcast the other day, and he said he did some offshore work. I don't know if that was on rigs or on ships, but so he would do like a couple of months offshore, and I think all he had was basically just to do some fitness, and then he would come back for a couple of months and he'd just spend that time just working on his strength. Obviously, that's not really sustainable if you want to be at
top level.
Game. But I think this lad. I mean, let's have a look. Let's just focus on Europe. I mean, there's 10 male spaces and there's 10 female spaces to go to games. I mean, who are you thinking? I mean, looking at him, I think he's a bit of a shoo-in, really. Like, he's got a good chance of making the games.
From what I've seen in the quarter-final workouts, 100%.
Yeah.
He's finished at the top?
He's top. He's nailed on, to be honest, from what I've seen. He doesn't seem to have very many weaknesses in his game at all.
No, I mean, and I thought with because he did well in the Open as well. Did he do well in the Open? I think he did. I mean,
he did well. He wasn't the top UK athlete, I don't think.
Yeah, I think it was skewed because of that first workout.
Yeah,
anyway.
definitely.
But obviously, he did well in the Open and then absolutely destroyed the quarters. Even like on a worldwide level, he destroyed them.
Yeah.
So like, you know, you've got him. It'll be interesting to see the likes of like Jonakoski, Björkvin, Carl Goodmanson.
Yeah, they were obviously in the top 10 in Europe.
Yeah.
And they'll always
be. Injuries, haven't we, in the European scene?
Zach George pulled out.
Zach George has pulled out.
Yeah, David Chironke as well.
French guy. I forget his name. Willie George. He's injured.
Oh, is he? I didn't see that he was injured.
Yeah,
so he's games after.
Bad shoulder.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
So yeah.
Yeah, definitely see maybe some different athletes at the top.
That'd be quite nice to see. Yeah. It's all online though, the European one. It's been moved to
both Lowlands and German Throwdown now are virtual events. It'd be interesting to see what CrossFit do with that, whether it'll be like the games last year and you can watch these events and people have to do it in time frames, or
I think with it being online, I think CrossFit program that now. I don't think so the event organisers,
they said they work alongside, so
do they?
They work alongside it.
Yeah, so that'd be quite interesting.
But I might be wrong there. Who programs it? I'm not 100% sure.
What about the
I think there's 6 or 7 UK based people we've got in the semi-finals though.
So we've got Elliot Simmons,
Josh Al-Shamar, however you say that, I don't actually know.
He's come a long way, hasn't he?
Yeah.
I remember
me and Zach competed against him.
Judged him at Inferno, wasn't it?
Inferno at that time.
For him to be where he is now, was like, all right,
it.
hats off.
Obviously, you got Elliot Simmons, you got Joshua Chama, you got Reggie. Who else?
We're going to look really silly in a minute because I can't think.
There's a good few lads who made it into the semi.
Oleg Lysenko.
Yeah.
There was definitely a couple of other lads that just missed out as well.
Yeah.
They were really close to that. Mikey Steele,
he
Sammy
missed
Wright,
out.
people like that. They were in the top 70.
I think Lucas Hogberg missed out, didn't he?
Yeah, he missed out. Yeah,
and he's a perennial games athlete. He's
definitely
been a few times. So I mean, if we can't.
There was an unknown bloke as well. I can't think of his name, who just fit in. I think he used to train in New Zealand or somewhere like that.
Okay.
But he's British on the roster, and he's made it just as well.
Yeah.
Might be one or two we've missed there.
Sorry, the Swedish guy, Simon
Mantala.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's how you actually pronounce it, but
he did quite well.
He was second. Well, I see. The post, some of his scores were literally so close with Reggie Fazza, within
identical, pretty much.
Literally on the snatch burpee one, it was literally within 5 seconds of each other.
Yeah.
Same with the GHD one, they were in
same time almost.
It was within 30 seconds of each other, but in a workout that's got 15, 20 minute cap, whatever it was, that's really close kind of thing.
Yeah, definitely. And the short one as well. Obviously, the snatch one was quite short. It's 2 minutes something. Yeah. Oh wow.
Oh, sorry, Dan Tay as well that we mentioned earlier. Who actually.
So.
I mean,
not it matters who I've heard of, but I'd never heard of that guy.
Yeah.
And what an absolute beast that lad is.
Well, I said to you the other day, I competed against him at the European Championships that's 2019 now as well. No, was that last year? That was last year actually, 2020. It was
just
the last,
early 2020.
Yeah, very, very early in January. And we did a rowing burpee over the rower workout. It was every minute for 12 minutes. You did 10 calories on the rower, and then max burpees over the rower in the remaining time. He was in a couple of heats before me, and everyone was kind of debating how many burpees they were going to aim for each round. I was sort of thinking, 10, get a score of about 120 kind of thing. And this lad went off and he come back in. He said, I stuck to. He was something like 14 or something like 14 burpees or something.
A minute after
every
the run.
minute, or 12 or 14 or something like that.
Yeah.
No, it was 12. Sorry, it was 12 because he come back with a score of 144, and everyone was just like, "Oh my god, that is phenomenal!"
Yeah.
I tried to keep to 10 and I didn't. I failed. And this lad's supposed to be, he's a few heats before me, so obviously lower on the leaderboard as such, which obviously doesn't, it was how he qualified. But at that point, then I was like, I saw boys. Obviously, he definitely looks the part as well.
He seems relatively new to CrossFit. He had a rugby league background from what I could tell.
Yeah, he's quite young. I think as well. He's sort of 25. And
really?
Yeah, he's
an absolute specimen of a lad. It'd be
good
to
see
see
a correlation with rugby and CrossFit. Well,
with me and Bing were chatting before. I kind of think that one of the best backgrounds you can have. If you were trying to transition to CrossFit, I feel like rugby league.
And that's exactly what it was. He was ex-pro rugby league player. And I think their training and that kind of stuff is very explosive kind of
and stuff.
work.
Yeah.
I mean, I think even I think I heard on an interview with Reggie Fasso. I think his background is rugby as well. I think he's played.
I'm not sure what his background is.
Yeah, he played rugby to quite a good level. He played. He talked about it on this podcast. He did that coffee pods and wads one whatever. But he's got a good rugby background. Like a lot of the kind of top lads in the UK have that. I mean, you'd expect it. Like the Americans. I mean, they've got a more diverse sporting background anyway in America because the collegiate level sport's so good. So, like, obviously, what are your predictions for the games? Do you think? Can you think of any European athletes who'll do well at the games? I mean, it's difficult to tell.
I think the lads that are in the semi-final, none of them have been to the games before, and your first showing at the game.
Apart from BKG. Oh no!
I'm talking UK. British lads. None of them been to the games before. To go to the games the first time, expect to do well is never going to be the case in your first showing. I think it's a big
expectation to put on yourself.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's just getting some experience. I think your first time at the games. Obviously, the workouts tend to be a little bit different, and they're not traditional CrossFit. Castro usually throws in, the pegboard type stuff, big bob push or whatever it is.
Triathlon style thing.
There's lots of different workouts, and obviously a lot of the time it's in the heat, and a lot of different elements go into it that you're not used to, I think. So to actually expect any of them to do well at the games is
quite tough,
I think.
What about Europe, and what about girls as well? Like, so, like, I think BK. You said the other day. I think BKG's got BKG. Like, cause he's like a silent assassin for CrossFit. I mean, he come like top 8 in the online one in 2020 in the games.
Yeah. So I don't.
He's just, for me,
he's always seems to be there or thereabouts, but he hasn't quite got
the end product.
That last
push.
Yeah, he doesn't quite seem to have that final thing to get. Obviously, he has been on the podium before, hasn't he?
Yeah, twice I think.
Yeah,
twice.
Might have been twice.
Yeah. Maybe I'm being harsh on him, but
he could.
Could be his year, mate.
Yeah, it is literally wide open.
It's open for everyone.
I'd like to see that Justin Medeiros do well. He hasn't seemed to shine at the minute, but I'm not saying he won't, because obviously they could be he's aiming for the games again. He's not going to shine at this point if his training's going to plan. He'll want to shine at the games, not this. Not the quarterfinal stage.
He's a difficult one because he doesn't seem very big on social media, and you can get wrapped up in that. Like, you look at these
very Fraser-esque that.
Yeah, exactly.
Quite on social media, just getting on with the work.
Yeah, I'd quite like to see him do well. Travis Mayer could.
He's a dark horse, isn't he? He's not someone you ever look at, but then looking at his times in the opening and the quarterfinals is like, all right,
I think Noah as well. I feel like he's on a mission. I think that Fraser's kind of stepped down. I think he kind of sees, because when they kind of both came through together.
The thing is, for Noah, he always looks up for it. He's like got the aggression. He, a bit different to BKG. BKG's silent. You don't really see the emotion with him. Whereas Noah, you see the emotion, but he gets himself too worked up in a workout, and he'll just go off like a.
He's done that before.
Pull out the gate, and he just messes the workout up hugely every time. Obviously, the one year that he pushed Fraser all the way, he didn't. He got it right, but then last year you saw a few workouts that he'd just crumble.
Yeah.
I mean, it was the very first one. I was at the bar muscle-ups and shoulder to overhead last year. He was trying to match Fraser the whole way, and he got to sort of the 5th or 6th round, and he just fell off the pace.
I think he struggled not having like a crowd and music. Like, I think he's a bit of a performer, which I think is a good thing. But I think Fraser's Fraser seemed like the guy who would like lock himself in his garage and like do some ridiculously hard work with no music.
Just go to the basement and just put the work in.
So, and I think it showed in that event.
So Fraser could just do it on his own, do what he needed to do.
So who you calling winning for the men's, man?
You've caught me off guard here. I want Medeiros to do it. That's what I want.
Yeah.
I think a young lad, just the mullet. Yeah. If only I could grow one of them.
Yeah. What about you two?
I'm going to stick with BKG, man. I think it could be his year.
Yeah?
For me, he's just like super consistent. He's always there. And like I said, with Fraser retiring, it could be his moment, But obviously there is a case for Justin Medeiros. It would be quite cool to see.
I think Scott Panchek's a quiet one.
Yeah.
He's done well. I think he did well in the Open and the quarterfinals.
Yeah.
Not saying you need to do well in them. You just need to get yourself through. No. But he's put up some good scores.
Yeah.
come back into the
still class, isn't he?
Off the team, you know, back of training with Fronin a lot. He's done a couple of years of training with Fronin, got that sort of mentality.
Yeah. I think
different way of training, and
with Medeiros, much like some of the girls, the younger girls that we spoke about earlier, it's really cool to kind of see that generation of athletes that have been doing CrossFit since they were kids.
Yeah.
So now you're kind of seeing that all kind of come through to fruition, and obviously it's happening in North America. Hopefully eventually it will start like happening in Europe, like kids that were doing CrossFit Kids, then they kind of started training more and more, and they end up doing the Open and become athletes.
So you just reminded me of another lad who was qualified from the UK for the Europe. So if I was saying young lads, that Taz Nadeem.
Oh right.
Oh man,
he's
a beast.
Yeah, he's another
strong boy as well.
He's only like 19 and he's got like a crazy snatch.
I sort of think has he been to the games as a teenager?
Yeah, he has.
Yeah, him and that was it Reece Mitchell.
Yeah,
they've both been. Because he, again, like he's not really big on social media or anything like that, or it doesn't seem like he is. I don't know.
Not as much these days.
Not as much.
Yeah.
No.
He used to post quite a bit.
Yeah.
Because again, he actually qualified for the games by being a national champion of like Afghanistan or something like that.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Oh, that was last year when they cancelled all the national champions.
Something like that. Yeah.
What are your thoughts on the girls? So I think Tia's a shoe-in. Like, I just think she's so impressive, and she smashed the quarters. And
exactly. I mean, like
I'd love someone just to beat her, because you know everyone loves the underdog kind of thing, and she's just like nailed on to win.
I think, I don't know if like her life's changed. Like Cara, or used to be Cara Webb, but she's called Cara Saunders now. I feel like she's performed really well in the Open, done really well in the quarterfinals, obviously qualified for the semis. She's like quite high up worldwide, and I feel like she's done it kind of half-assed. Like, but she obviously hasn't, because you've got to put in that work. But I kind of feel like she could take it up a level. She's got obviously other commitments. She's got a baby, young kid. But like, I think she could. I don't know. I just feel like if she could turn it on, she could cause. I just feel like
she. There are so many work that she's really good at, but she always seems to have one or two things that let her down.
Have a bit of a mare. Yeah.
I mean, in Europe, Laura Horvath seems to have.
She's burst back, hasn't she?
Burst back, definitely. Yeah. I thought last time I got time to watch, she burst on the scene.
Came second one year or third, like,
something like that. Yeah, I would
like
want to
2019.
And then she struggled in the last couple of years. There's obviously the handstand push-up workouts and all that kind of thing.
She had a back injury as well.
Yeah, and then this year she seems to have really. Obviously, she's won the quarterfinals in Europe. Well, I think there was a handstand push-up workout, obviously the very first one in the quarterfinals, and had she'd struggled with strict handstand push-ups, normal kipping handstand push-ups in workouts, and I think she put up a really good score.
I think she came top 20 or 23rd or something like that.
Oh wow!
You know?
Yeah, so she's traditionally really struggled.
Yeah, I remember watching the Rogue Invitational a good few years ago, and she couldn't even do one strict handstand push-up. It might have been to a deficit or whatever, but she couldn't even get one out, kind of thing, and it was a massive weakness.
That's a big win for her. Yeah,
exactly.
She's worked on it.
I'd be interested to see how Carrie Pearce does, because like she did quite well in the get. Did she come second or third?
She came second.
She came second, and like. She seems to step up this year. She performed relatively well again in the Open, the quarters. Because I feel like the Americans, they like CrossFit's still an American sport, and it feels like the commentators desperately want an American girl to win.
Yeah, they want the poster girl, don't they?
Yeah. Can you see an American person doing well? American girl?
I mean, there's always a good shoe-in. Like, you never know.
I feel like it's a bit soon for Hayley Adams again. Obviously, she's got.
She will win.
She will win.
She will win one day
at some time.
I think she's still got a bit of physical development to go.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Like strength work. Obviously, that's what lets her down.
Yeah.
Tell that to Mallory O'Brien, man.
She's
17. Like the weights that she's lifting.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I mean, the front squat. Didn't she? What? Am I wrong? Said she did a 124 rep max, something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah,
that's impressive.
Very, very strong.
What's
17 years old?
What's her background? Do you know? Do you know much about her?
I don't know anything about her.
I don't know too much about her. I mean, as for UK girls, obviously, I think there was 7 have qualified for the semi-finals.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
you got Megan Lovegrove,
Taylor Howe.
There's a girl
from Bicester,
Martha.
Yeah,
she used to train over at TAC Oxford. So like seeing her,
like a local girl,
local girl,
make it is pretty cool.
I can't think of who else is in the mix. UK girls.
Any JST ones, like obviously Taylor. how? She seems to be smashing it.
Yeah, she was top 10, I think.
Was she?
Obviously, you got Sam Briggs. Sam
Yeah,
Briggs.
yeah.
Obviously, I think she was just outside the top 10.
You almost forget she's English because she's so good, like in a weird way. Like,
Yeah.
Emily Wu? Did she
Emily Dwyer. Yeah,
Emily
she was.
Dwyer,
I think she was
Emily Wu,
around. I think she was like 30 off or something like that.
Yeah. Can you see any English girls or British girls making the games? Like, I feel like Sam Briggs could always pull it out of the bag, depending on what the events are.
Yeah, you never write off Sam Briggs.
No.
Because there could be one workout that she'll win.
Yeah, it'd be
And
so impressive if she made the games, I think.
Yeah,
like,
definitely.
At her age and how long she's been doing it for.
You definitely wouldn't write her off. There's quite a few newish, Scandinavian girls that are.
They're smashing it.
Yeah, smashing it. I mean, it'd be nice to see Annie make it after so soon after having a baby as well.
No, man. Yeah, that's
She's
incredible.
That'd be
to
really
honest.
impressive.
Yeah,
I think
She's
as well
doing
because
really
you got like, I think Katrin has to compete in the European one.
Yeah, I think she finished one place above Annie
Did she?
in the quarterfinals.
Yeah.
Is this based off your passport or your nationality, like where you have to compete?
Yeah.
It's
based on
wherever
you
you're.
live.
Yeah.
what you're a citizen of.
Citizenship. Yeah.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
So like Tia, she's lived in America for like, I don't know, past 2 or 3 years, but now she has to compete in Australia.
Out of Australia,
Yeah,
because obviously she was doing the bobsleigh and wherever she's doing the bobsleigh.
South Korea,
I
think. Yeah.
That was the impressive thing with her though, because like she won the Open, having not really trained for the Open, just because she was doing the.
I mean,
I know she's training.
I'm sure they're doing a lot more than what they say. I think they must be.
Yeah, I think as well, like
I did see something about her. She's got some of her bobsleigh team doing CrossFit with her.
Yeah, I did see
Things
that.
like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think as well, like she essentially got picked to trial out for the US bobsleigh team based on what she's done in CrossFit and her training in CrossFit. So I don't think she'd necessarily go to them kind of training camps and think I need to train any differently. Like specifically for bobsleigh, she'll have to do certain things. I have no idea about
it's sport specific.
Yeah. But I think as far as kind of like doing her accessory work and just general training, I think she would have stayed on top of it, or she at least would have stayed on top of important aspects of it, because she's already she's like demonstrated that work capacity. She's got that. She could maybe slack off in a few areas, and then still perform well in the Open. But she was impressive in the Open. I mean, she didn't just win it; she won it. She smashed it, didn't she?
Yeah.
Absolutely smashed it.
Yeah, definitely.
So prediction for girls then, saying
Tia.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's a pretty much a foregone conclusion, isn't it? You just think it's not even a workout in there now that comes up. You'd think, someone could beat her in that, because she has every single aspect nailed down.
Yeah.
There was always someone or a workout that could with Fraser that you think, the trail run or something that you think when there's 40 of them, there's always someone who was an awesome runner. They could beat him.
Well, I don't know actually. He smashed that trail run at the ranch.
He did at the ranch, but obviously only 5 of them doing it.
Yeah.
Whereas I feel like if you had a bit of a bigger field, there could have been somebody. I'm not saying he would have. Maybe that wasn't the best thing, but obviously, did he win the swimming event? I think there's obviously people that could beat him in that.
Yeah.
Whereas with Tia, I don't see.
Yeah, I think swimming was
that
always his. Like you say, weakness, but you use that term loosely. Like I think there was always something.
I mean, he would still be in the top 3 every event.
Yeah.
But there was somebody who might just pip him in an event.
Yeah, and she's a strong swimmer. She's a decent runner. Remember, she absolutely smashed that run, swim, run one a few years ago. Her and James, I think James Newbury won it for the men. But yeah, I think one thing she's got now, and I feel like as a fan, it's been nice to see it develop. It's her head, her mindset. Because I remember the first 2 years, she came second in her first 2 years, and in all them behind the scenes, you could see like it's definitely not immature, but kind of from a competitive point of view, it's like that kind of like slightly immature mindset. Like she didn't have like confidence in herself. She'd like doubt herself. But now she's just like
taking it just to a different level.
It's like taking names, like absolutely smashing it.
And like, obviously before Tia's dominance, the female side was very competitive. It was always kind of neck and neck.
Yeah.
And I kind of feel like when she chooses to retire or call it a day, it will well, because we don't know what's going to happen with the men's, but it's going to become very, very interesting with the girls, because there's still some top females in there. Yeah. So like, I
would like to see one of them young US girls come through.
It would be so cool.
It would be cool to see.
Because I think what's interesting about this whole, the sport of CrossFit and how it's grown, and like in the last kind of 5-6, with the teen division, you've got people taking part in CrossFit really young. They're competing it. They're doing the teen division of the games. I felt the lads who've done that have really struggled to
make the step,
make the step from the teenagers to the men's, and I don't know whether that a lot because whereas the girls haven't as much. Like the girls tend to have, like Hayley's gone from being a teen.
Well, it's happening now, isn't it? You're seeing it.
Yeah. But like, I feel like
I think it takes a few more years of developing at that age of a lad. A lot of girls can develop from the age of maybe 12, 13, and there's 13, 14-year-old girls that are women.
Yes.
Whereas lads, 13, 14-year-old lad is just a boy.
Little boy.
Yeah, as such.
Even 16, 17-year-old. There's an American lad,
Dallin
Pepper.
Yeah,
he's only 18. He's done the games.
Oh, is he?
And I don't know how well he's done.
I think this year he's made the semi-finals in America. He's not right up there, but he's like top 50 maybe.
All right, okay.
And I think but whether you're going to make the games from that, again, it's such a
interesting.
He's a strong lad.
Yeah.
18 years old, 135 snatch.
Oh wow!
I think I saw it. I was like,
that's
"You're
impressive.
18, man.
Yeah.
Like, come on."
Wow.
It's crazy.
Is he the one? Does he train in Fronin's gym?
I don't know, actually.
He trains in. I watched the Buttery Bros thing. I don't know where he trains.
It's a big gym. It's not Fronin's own barn gym, but it's one.
Oh, actually, at Mayhem.
Yeah, I think he actually trains at Mayhem.
Okay, all right, that'll be interesting. I mean, he's got some athletes there thrown in, but standard. But sweet. So we're saying Tia.
Yeah.
Nice. All right.
Definitely Tia. It's got to be in it.
We'll call it there.